But see if your system needs an update when we're done. Not now, but you're fine.
And the girls.
My dog will understand the sign language.
It's gonna be.
So let's hear from Jules right now, and then Jules, whenever you're not talking, do mute because I think the fan in the background's.
Yeah, the AC just kicked on.
Yeah. Go ahead and say your position and what you thought about ward leadership for now.
Oh, ward leadership. It was just, always having to, tell what, who we had to go try to bring back to the church. I think that was the hardest part. And
all reactivation.
Yep. And I was actually the young men's presidency. Part of it, I think it was the first counselor. So I was always trying to find those young men that weren't coming to scouts and all that. And then the next, our second biggest thing was to get Eagle Scouts, to Eagle Scout them. I think that was our biggest thing, making sure we had enough merit badge projects.
That's cool.
Yeah. And Eagle projects, which weren't hard in Florida when hurricanes came around.
Oh my goodness.
You could just shingle roofs for a while and then.
Did you ever feel that you didn't get callings for certain things because you were just a new member or hadn't been in for very long?
I think the hardest thing was my job. Since I've always worked in the medical field, usually I would be there every other Sunday. Same with youth activity. I would go every other Wednesday because my job always alternated, or even when I was just a road medic, it was unpredictable, because you'd serve 24 hours, then have 48 off. So, it doesn't, you don't know which day you're going to have off. So.
Yeah. Wow. That'd be hard.
Yeah. So
the Boy Scouts are the best part of the church, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Our first Eagle we did get by having him go and shingle roofs after Hurricane Charlie, and we thought we were going to be short on shingles, and we just had enough for every roof. Yet, the last roof, looked like they were going to be short. Of course, they had enough. And, of course, that became a spiritual thing. The spirit was.
Yeah, it's like the fish and the bread.
Mm-hmm.
When Christ fed 5,000?
Right.
3 loaves of bread and a few fish.
69,000. 69,000.
Yeah, that was the big thing they used to always say.
Don't
I got my Eagle.
So to get it,
I got my Eagle when I was 13.
All he had to do was roofs and houses, and that was it. Nothing else.
We had to fill out paperwork and stuff.
No, but I mean, just not a project. I mean, I know that helps the community, but that was
the only thing. Project.
See, that to me is just not right.
What do you think it should be?
Well, we built things like we built fences.
He's building a roof.
I understand that, but I mean, yeah, it's a good thing, but I mean, it's not challenging. Like we had guys way to engineer stuff, and
yeah, it varies. A lot of where I grew up, it was like flagpoles for the city. I did like trail markers, like city trails. Maybe it's like trail things.
I like MB's comment where when people get calling, sometimes they have to tell their family because you're not going to see dad very much anymore because he's in the bishopric, or mom gonna need your support on Tuesday nights because she's going to do primary or something like that. And so that did happen.
You know what my funnest calling of all time was I was called to be the stake dance instructor as we prepared for the dance festival. The big regional dance festivals that have.
How many
Yeah,
times did you
oh.
say ball change?
No, we didn't do
I
the
hated
step ball
that.
step stuff. Well, maybe we did. I don't know. Hell, I don't remember what dances we did. I was in Gilbert, Arizona. We
You know,
probably did clogging and square dance.
Right. Swing your
man,
partner round and round.
I
Right.
was in my youth. I was always in a presidency. Deacons, teachers, priest quorum, always in a presidency. We didn't have enough.
When I was little, my dad got called to be in the stake presidency when we lived in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Whoa.
And the stake presidency included like Iowa and parts of Nebraska. And so I remember twice a month I would go with him to visit these little tiny branches that would meet like in these weird rooms above stores and stuff like that. We always had to drive a long ways, and then they would always feed us before we went home. That's what I
Wow.
always looked forward
Nice.
to. But yeah, so for the rest of my family, like they didn't want to go travel with my dad, and I loved going on road trips. So for
Wow,
the rest
that's
of my
cool.
family, you know, dad was just gone 2 Sundays a month doing his stake presidency calling.
That could have been why my
That's the
dad
thing.
wanted to be a Jack Mormon, so he could always be away from the family for other reasons than church.
That's the thing,
Like-
though, that I think like leadership at the local level, people just don't, unless you've experienced it in your own family, people don't think about how much moms and dads aren't available when they have this super demanding church calling that takes them away from their family.
Yeah, because like Sunday mornings, I'd have to leave at like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, go to bishopric meeting, then ward council, and welfare, and 3 meetings, and then church. You know,
Yeah. 3 meetings, then 3 meetings.
3 meetings, and yeah, you'd be at church for 6 hours.
6 meetings.
I love how we would plan to have, we would have meetings to plan meetings.
Meetings, yeah.
There's so
Well,
many
one of the
effing meetings.
Yeah,
One of the
nothing
things
got
is I
done.
used to type up the program, whatever, you know, who was doing what, and I used to put the names that we would consider calling people on there. And the stake president saw that one time. He says, "You don't put people's names on there; they might see it." And I'm going, "Wow, I
Yeah,
shouldn't do that." It's like,
Did you say take a chill pill, Bishop?
that was the stake president. It was during the
stake.
stake ward conference, and we were all in the bishopric's office with the stake presidency and the high counselor to the. I mean, you know, it was crowded, and you don't ever put anybody's names on there. Write it in pencil, but don't put it on. I went, okay.
I would have tossed
I-
him a bottle of Valium
Yeah,
and say,
exactly.
get the hint.
Jeez.
I had an interesting calling.
What was it?
It was I was second counselor in Relief Society. I've done ward chorister, primary chorister, the 13-year-old Sunday school teacher, ward activities director, just all different kinds of things. But I was the building scheduler in, I think it was Bible Park Ward in Denver, Colorado. I was single,
hard.
divorced with a 4-year-old.
Wow.
And
Oh
what's
my
interesting
gosh.
about being the building scheduler is you have keys
You
for the
cancel
building.
church? You cancel church.
Well, if there's a funeral and there's events, yes, you are completely in charge of just the scheduling, not maintenance,
Wow.
not anything. But there was a caveat to this job that I found exciting and wonderful that now is so disturbing. Part of the calling is you were responsible for providing the ward clerk with a copy of the Talents and Treasures questionnaire for every member, including babies. Favorite colors, favorite things they do, TV shows, all of it. And now discovering that this is part of how they knew so much about everyone is that it was part of a calling to actually make sure that every member in the ward had this filled, even if you were inactive, to try and
I've never
gather.
heard of that.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
I've never heard
That
of
was
that.
part of
Wow.
being building scheduler. It was the
What
Talents
year
and
was
Treasures.
this? When was this?
It'd be 1991, 1990.
Really? Wow, I
Hmm.
never heard about that.
And I thought it was
I
so
think of
amazing because we knew
I
so
think of
much
all
and
of
it was so wonderful.
I think of all
Wow.
of the callings in the church worldwide. That position would have to put up with the most BS. Building scheduling, yeah.
Yep.
Haha.
It was
Oh.
fun though.
See, I always wanted to go to Young Men's. I didn't like being in Owens Corner Presidencies. So I want a Young Men's calling, you know. And then when they split our award and I became the
Exactly,
Weebles
Brittany.
leader, I'd go on
Hmm.
the scout camps with the Boy Scout leader. Always took me along with the kids because he knew I liked to be with the Boy Scout, you know, out there doing stuff. But man, oh.
What about you, Trevor?
Hmm?
What
What
callings
is
did you
the
have?
what is your
Uh,
what calling did you have in the church?
I was first assistant at my preschool before I quit,
Okay.
but I quit after that, so that's about as high as I got.
Well, you were almost to the president when you said that's it.
Well,
Yeah.
the bishop's the president, so he'd be just like I was the counselor to the bishop. We'd have our meeting with the bishop to talk about the guys in the police quorum, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the first counselor was over the deacons, but he was an advisor because you actually had a presidency in the deacons quorum. The teachers quorum was the first counselor,
Mm.
and the
I missed
presidency,
the
and then the
comment.
bishopric was, you know, remember those? Those were the days, man.
Yeah.
And I had
Back
great,
when they had things.
you know, I, I had great counselors when I was growing up.
There was a special,
Kiki,
I can't remember the calling it wasn't, but I up here, there wasn't any seminary I could go to. And so in 79 and 80, I did seminary via correspondence course. They would
Wow.
mail me packets and I
hmm,
would and mail them back. And so that's how I did seminary.
I
And
only went to
abused the
Kiki,
one year
membership system.
seminary
I
my
can relate.
senior year. Yeah. My
I
senior
was
year,
president. Oh, sorry, Tim. Go ahead.
no, because my parents wouldn't take us to seminary. But when I could drive, after I could drive, then I go to seminary. I took my sister, and I pick up my my friend's friend and a couple other people and drive to seminary. And I had to leave like 20 minutes early so I could get to my high school in time because everybody went to university, uni high, and I went to Hamilton. And even though my sister should have gone to Hammy and a couple other people, they wanted to go to university with all the Westwood Ward kids because they were the rich hoity-toity kids. And those Westwood Second Ward kids were just the, you know.
Well, I was seminary president, and I ended up getting caught sneaking out of seminary. My two best friends and I had this method when we wanted to leave. We'd go to the restroom one at a time. We'd meet outside and then we'd get on the ground and we would army crawl on our backs so that he couldn't see us out the window. And just when the last one of us was still on his back, we were all on our back. As I was army crawling backwards, I hit two hard things, and it was the seminary teacher's legs.
Oh
He had come
my.
around the other way out the back door and busted us wide open. But I can relate to what you're saying, Kiki.
Wow. Yeah,
In
I had to
Utah,
drive to the chapel, the Westwood Ward Chapel, because that's where it was. And then I had to drive back to school. Yeah.
here in Utah, seminary was just like high school, so it's like
I know. Yeah.
it's like totally different ballgame.
You guys had it easy. You could get release time and go
That's
to the
not
building.
easy. It's like way more structured. It's like basically like a high school class.
Well, yeah,
I
but
did
I mean,
I did more
you didn't
seminary than any other subject at school. I
you
did
didn't have
more
to get
seminary than
up
anything.
you didn't have to get up at 6 in the morning to be there by 7. And
No,
then I
but
always
you
sat
had
in
to
the
do a
back
lot
of
more there.
sure. but I always had to sit in the back of the classroom because I was the only one that left early.
Yeah.
Anyway, I even got an award for being the Harry Chester Book Slammer, Quiet Book Slammer Award.
Kiki's experience stinks.
What's Kiki's
Kiki's experience was God punishing her.
Oh
That
no,
skunk.
Kiki! Really? Ow! Whoa, man! Oh. So Kiki, did you get in tomato juice? How did you get rid of the smell? I want to hear about that. Okay, so how did you get rid of the smell? I want to hear about this.
That's the only way to do it, really.
Yep, tomato juice. Yeah, I know. Yep, tomato juice. Okay. Man.
I hate when that happens.
Oh.
So I'll just say something. When my son was in a mission at Brazil, I think the Sao Paulo mission, one, either there was a rumor or he knew of a bishop who was like taken off his calling because the bishop was skimming off the tithing somehow.
Hell yeah.
Taking his 10% cut.
He got excommunicated for that, and he was never allowed back in. Because if you steal from the church, anybody who steals money from the church, there's no chance of ever coming back.
Wow,
yeah, but you know what? Committing SA on a child apparently doesn't hold.
Oh, you can be forgiven for that.
Yes, you can be.
Yeah,
that's
as long as the money's
let
involved.
right back in.
Yeah,
right.
The attorneys get told.
Right.
I gotta start stealing money from the church.
And then my older brother was the finance clerk or whatever. And I remember calling him like 2 or 3 hours after his meeting. His church services were over, and he would text me back that he still hasn't been done counting all the tithing, and they're they got to balance it and they got to double check it and all those things. So it didn't seem like a fun job.
I had to go to bishops meeting once or twice. The bishops meet, I think it's once a month in the stake in the High Council room, and they talk about their problems they've got in the ward, and I had an agenda that I had to talk about from our ward. Listen, all the other problems the other wards have, this is just the bishops talking, and like their trouble. Like one ward, its problem was teenagers getting pregnant, and another ward was not enough money for this or that. It's really interesting to listen to that.
So did they need more fertility? They weren't getting pregnant fast enough, teenagers?
Waiting too long. Only teenagers? You gotta get before 14. Come on. Gotta repopulate the earth.
That's what happens when the Sunday school teacher leaves to go to the restroom.
That's right.
But honestly, that's the problem.
It was in the
banging
water.
like bunnies.
That's the problem with their theology.
It's in the water.
How many of you created a calling, basically? When my brothers were off on their missions, I fed the missionaries every single week. I mean, there were different things that I kind of created, or was encouraged to create. I mean, did any of you do that in addition to what you were already called to do?
Brittany the apostate, I'll bet.
Well, I had because of my knowledge of church history, if people had problems with that and the bishop couldn't answer them, he'd send them to me.
Till they kicked you out?
Till they kicked me out. Yeah. Well, I had all the stuff on the Google Drive. I'd give them all those. I'd say, here's a floppy. There's all kinds of stuff on it. You have any more questions? Come and talk to me.
It's nice knowing you.
Give him a CS letter.
I was the ward sports
that
director.
didn't exist then. This was long before that, man.
Yeah.
There was stuff on there about polygamy and Adam God, and people they'd come back and ask me questions. Well, what about this? What about what? I never heard about this stuff.
I was a ward sports director, and I had to convince my wife that watching football on Sunday was part of my calling.
Oh boy.
That
We always watch
led to
football
you
on
being
Sunday.
on the chain gang, I bet you.
That's right.
Is that why you ended up on the chain gang?
That's another story, but yeah. But I actually did a lot for the ward sports directory. I'm director calling because there were not
Feed
enough
the
teams to
dogs.
play. So I would try to be the ward sports director for other wards to
I've
try
got-
to get their players out so that we
I've got to
can.
bow out. I've got to bow out for a minute, guys.
All right.
What?
Just,
Gotta feed,
I'll be right back.
Tuesdays
gotta feed the
without
dog?
Tim? Feed the demons?
Tuesday without Tim, apparently. So,
Yeah.
Gene, were you in charge of coordinating the
That was
ringers
hilarious.
for all of the sports teams?
So yeah, I actually
really?
presented an idea when I was in my celestial kingdom mode of thinking.
Celestial?
I
I mean, when
proposed
you
an
thought you were
idea
actually going to make it in?
that no matter who won the softball league, we would just beforehand we would select a team to represent our stake, no matter, and so that we would all play that team to try to help them be better. Right? That was my celestial thinking. It was sort of like what's that where everybody owns their property in common?
Like,
Consecration.
Common law?
Consecration. So I was trying to consecrate sports. I was trying to create a celestial sports program where it wasn't about winning. It was about helping your brother be better.
That is socialism, Gene.
That didn't fly. That didn't fly.
How dare you? This is America.
when I was ward historian, that one was the worst. If you brought one program home, I would also get one in the mail to keep them, So I had like shoe boxes full of them, and it was horrible.
Did
Like,
you keep
Whenever I
them
would
in the
walk into
bathroom?
sacrament meeting,
What was that?
Did you keep them in the bathroom? Just something to read while you're in there?
Oh yeah.
Peruse over the programs?
When I left Florida, I just went and put them back on the church step.
Whatever, just burned them all.
whenever I walked into sacrament meeting and somebody would hand me a program, I always felt like they were saying, "Here, you throw this away."
That reminds me, the only time in Salt Lake City, the only time I've ever been given like some religious handout, I was right by the Delta Center, like the NBA arena, and it was a Scientology guy. He was handing out Scientology stuff, and I was just like, wow, this is crazy. I just read it all. It was hilarious.
I thought they were
Wow.
saying you make the paper airplane.
Yeah, it was basically that. Well, what is in Scientology? If you get other people to join, then it makes your fees less. So it's basically like you sign people up, so you don't have to pay as much.
See, when
Wait,
I started
wait,
doing
wait,
Mormon
wait,
church,
I actually went
wait.
into the
So if-
Scientology order
Yeah.
in Salt Lake
Oh,
just a
time
couple days
out.
ago.
So
Yeah,
it's
it's like
a
multi-level.
virtual MLM.
Yeah. So
Yes.
it's like you have to
Yes.
pay a ton
Okay,
of money
now-
to go through the classes, but if you sign up other people, then you have to pay as much.
Okay, now here's
So
something
you,
to get on board with. Your tithing is 10%, but if you baptize somebody, then it's 9%. You baptize someone else, it's 8%.
Yeah. It's
7,
basically
Brain
that.
6,
pin.
go
Maybe we'll
all
go
the
to
way
that.
down
Maybe we'll
until
go
they
to
start paying you to go to church.
that. Yeah.
you become
Well,
a
my
double
converts
diamond
are making so
baptizer,
much.
converter.
Would not be surprised they did that. Like seriously.
And you get a little pin with like the two
Yeah.
diamonds on it, a little CTR ring where you've got a diamond in each of the little letters.
Maybe
Yeah,
they take a
somebody used to
cruise,
pay.
for the top.
I
would
savers
sign
and
back
up.
earners.
That would be so
That's right.
annoying.
The
Or why
top
don't we start our
baptizers
own?
all get to go on a cruise.
Oh yeah.
Start our own
Yeah.
tech. And go
you know, knowing what I
I'm all
know
for it,
now,
Jules.
I think if I were passing out programs, I'd tape a piece of candy, maybe a couple of those little candy bars on the back of them, and then people would be scrambling to get a program, and it would make you feel so accomplished.
Well, that reminds me of my parents. They brought me home a thing a while ago, and it was their ward. I think it's probably someone in the ward that has money that paid for it because the church is so cheap. But it's basically like, look up this scripture and then eat this candy, and a bunch of candy. It's like, look up this one and then eat this one. And it's like, this is just like reverse shock therapy, where it's like, read this scripture, eat this candy, you'll feel good. Maybe you'll think it's true, you know? It was like
I would
that whole
sit behind the
thing.
deacons, and every Sunday, except Fast Sunday, they would get candy for singing the sacrament hymn instead of just sitting there. Now
Yeah,
on Fast Sunday, that
like
was singing
Pavlov.
for God, or me, I didn't care, but either way. And then I encouraged the young men on the stand to do the same as they prepared. And I was that person who would, like I said, it's a calling that I just picked on my own, that no matter where I was, those poor deacons, they had to be guilted into or bribed into singing either way.
Okay, there was a
That's
guy
funny.
in my ward in South Dakota who used to give out Smarties candies. He would stand in the hallway after sacrament meeting was over, and if you went directly to your class, he would give you a roll of Smarties. And I swear, I don't know where he is now, but Brother Moyer, if you're out
He's
there,
dead.
I'm addicted to Smarties because of you. I don't know what happened.
I like Smarties. They're good.
They're great. Not
Yeah.
only that, but there was, this whole saying of like, you are what you eat. And so I ate Smarties. And so obviously I wasn't over there
That's
having
right.
dum-dums like the rest of the kids.
Yeah.
Smarties
Did
are
you
pretty
suck
much
them?
sugar and cement, and then they stamp them into a mold.
Yeah, it's like
Did you?
sweet cocaine.
Because with Smarties, you can suck them, and then all of a sudden they just fall apart into sugar, and there's this burst of deliciousness. Or you can pop them in your mouth and crunch them up. Which did you
Yeah, I was
do,
crunching.
Miguel?
I was crunching them up.
Now I get my hits off of cocaine, so I don't really
Yeah.
care about the Smarties anymore.
Oh,
So
oh,
Britty is reminding me of something.
you can do the same with Coke, but just letting you know.
Exactly. Cocaine's
Yeah.
much more satisfying.
How many people-
Coca-Cola is.
Oh,
Go ahead, Gene. I was going to say Coca-Cola is still flavored with cocaine, actually.
the flavor.
It's just-
They used to,
Yeah,
yeah.
just
they
the
used to.
just the flavor.
Yeah.
They still use it. No, they still use the flavor, just not the active
The
ingredient.
flavor, yeah, just not the
Yeah.
actual coca leaves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But Britty's idea that the bishop would give people candy except for Fast Sunday.
No,
And,
every Fast Sunday. Oh, every day but Fast Sunday.
Every time but Fast
Except for
Sunday.
Fast Sunday, that's right.
Do you remember
Right.
like going on Fast Sunday, walking around and seeing the drinking fountains and start drinking and then being guilty? And then you had water in your mouth and you didn't know, like, should I swallow it or not? It's going to be a sin. It's
Always swallow it.
already in there.
It's polite. It's polite to swallow.
It's
See,
not
I
like
never,
My best friend and I were
I don't-
that very same way with bean burrows from behind when we'd go to Circle K and buy bean burritos. Then we'd go behind and eat them. Once we'd get them chewing up in our mouth, we'd think, should we spit these out? Nope, I think we'll swallow them.
But that reminds me, when Tim was a kid, they had spittoons in the temple.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
right, that's right, yeah.
It's like Rome. They spit out the food and felt guilty.
Gene, I just want to say, I promise you, I don't care what Sunday it was, I was never drinking out of one of those gross, nasty drinking water fountains.
Well,
Really?
see, the
Wow.
drinking fountain was right by the bathroom, right? And the hallway to the
Yeah.
gospel doctrine room in our chapel.
That
So-
Let
water
it
is
run,
probably
let it
like,
run for a few seconds.
Yeah, you
It'll
let it
clean
run for a
itself
few
up.
seconds and take a
Yeah, that's
sip,
good.
and then
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of kids
I
like
do have
to
to say
spit
that,
and let it go down into the drinking fountain part so that the next
Nope.
person got beer
That'll get
spitting
flushed
in it.
out.
And if they put their gum on it, it tastes like minty.
Oh, yeah, it's bonus.
oh yeah.
Bonus.
Sorry, Megan.
I mean,
Well,
I
we
do
used
admit,
to-
like, putting my gum on the edge of the sacrament cup so that when I drank my own sacrament water, it was minty, but never did that on a drinking fountain, on a public
Really?
drinking fountain. That's just disgusting. Gross.
The-
We
know,
used to
the good old
we
chewed
used to
bubble
eat the
gum.
leftover. We used to eat the leftover sacrament bread on Fast Sunday.
Well, have you seen
You know
the
how
new
many
design
people
of
touch that
sacrament trays
leftover bread?
with the holes in the corners?
I know.
Because kids would drink out of the cups and they wouldn't get it all. And then as their mama would let them put it in the center thing and they'd dribble it across the other full sacrament cup. And this stretchy
I'm convinced.
spit
I
would
am
go into the water.
I am just convinced that sacrament has been responsible for most of the communicable diseases on the whole planet, like throughout
Oh,
every denomination. Like if people
sure.
drink, like 100 people drinking out of the same wine goblet, and then not only
Yeah.
that, but the sacrament trays, where those deacons were not washing their hands before they broke that bread or
Oh,
filled up
we-
water cups.
Gee, why would the deacons need to wash their hands, Megan?
Yeah.
Well, because 50%
Dirty
of hands
stuff?
have had a. Anyway. But I know personally, my own personal children, I can attest to this. And my children would take, they would take the sacrament cup and they would drink some and then they would go try to put it back in and it would just get like everywhere. It was gross. That's why we sat in the front row, because we always got it first and then everyone behind us had to suffer.
You sit behind the deacons. See?
Yeah.
And then there's no one in front of you for the rest of the service.
I will tell you, though, I will never forget the Sunday that the power went out at our church building and we had sacrament meeting in the parking lot. And it might as well have been drive-through sacrament meeting. And I actually suggested, they put, the chairs out for everybody to go sit out there and do sacrament meeting. And I said, as long as we're doing it out here in the parking lot, we might as well just get in our cars and just drive through. It would be so much faster, more efficient. And this
I'm going to
was
keep
like
that
the
idea in
second concert.
mind, Megan, when I become prophet.
We had
Yeah.
a bowl of water. We'd wash our
Everything.
hands before we had a bowl of water that we'd wash our
I remember
hands
they
in
used to
before
have
we
a bowl of
blessed it.
water.
We
Yeah.
had a sink.
But Tim, was
We
there
never
any
had that.
soap in the water? Where did the
Yes,
water come
yes.
from?
The
You'd have a
water
sink?
came
What
from
year
the
was
same
this?
place that the water for the cups came from. We had a
We don't
little
have a
bowl of
sink?
water.
In it?
Huh?
There was soap in it?
Yeah.
Well, you don't rinse your
Well, you were
hands?
ahead of your time then.
Soap just
We
helps
rinsed
water
our
be
hands.
more water. That's
You
all.
don't rinse the soap off?
Back when we were kids.
Well,
That happened in the
thing is,
couple of
soapy
boards I
bread.
was in.
did they dry their hands after
What
washing them?
year
though?
was this?
Yeah, we had a
What
towel
year
there.
is this?
We had a little, and sometimes later on we'd use wipes.
Was this
Remember
pre-indoor
using
plumbing?
We had, yeah.
Yes.
I remember the first time I ever saw wipes was Kentucky Fried Chicken. They were the first ones that had the little hand wipes because it'd be so
Really?
greasy all the time.
When I was on my mission, we had it was a branch. We didn't have any wards. And I'm sure I've told this before, but they would just fill one glass of water. And the bishop would take the sip first, and then they'd pass it throughout the congregation. And we missionaries would all try to sit up front so that we wouldn't get the little breadcrumbs that all the kids would leave in it
Absolutely
after
not.
eating the bread.
If I was
It's-
first, I would just chug. I would just chug the whole thing.
Absolutely not.
My bad.
Gross.
Nope. Would not
That's
do it.
crazy. Yeah, that whole wine
Would
thing.
not
It's
do
like,
it.
drink out of the same cup.
Because we'd wash our
Probably like-
hands during the sacrament hymn.
That's got to be like
remember.
100% wine. For me to do that, it's got to be 100% wine.
So to go back to for a little bit for local Mormon leadership and callings, before the Church of Korihor gives a 3-hour sermon or something,
Jesus. Jesus.
I wanted to bring up the fact that my wife would have some leadership position in Young Women's and Relief Society, and they would be told, hey, you need to fulfill this calling and just pray and get an answer. She would pray and she'd like nothing, first of all, right? Then, here's how you do it. You pray and you think good thoughts while you're going through the war directory, and then God will
Think of the name.
help you think of the name that you're looking for, right? So then she finally does what she thinks. This must be it. It's the closest I've ever come. So she submits the name, and the bishop says, "No, we have something else in mind for that sister," right? Like, what the hell, God?
No, we've already committed her to the nursery, so you can't have her.
Yeah. And so here they try to tell her to follow the Spirit, right? And then the Spirit is wrong.
Yeah.
That was the wrong
I
spirit.
also want to say, along the lines of something you alluded to earlier, Gene, is that I was definitely passed over for callings before I went through the temple. And I know this because, I didn't go through the temple because my spouse was not a member. Then when he did join, it took me like 7 or 8 years before I finally got to go to the temple because my bishop was like, you should wait for your husband. I was like, okay. So when I finally did go through the temple, I
knew
felt
it was in there with the whole,
Yeah,
you gotta obey your husband.
right, exactly. You got to
Sorry.
obey your husband, and if he's not
Yeah.
going, then you
Yeah,
shouldn't
that's a
go.
big problem. Yeah.
So once I did go through the temple, I felt prompted to share about my temple experience in Relief Society testimony meeting.
Oh
And
no.
afterwards, I was approached by the Relief Society president, and she was like, oh my gosh, when you said that you had been through the temple, my first counselor and I just about fell off of our chair because we really wanted to call you to be a Relief Society teacher, but we just really felt it needed to be somebody who'd been through the temple. And so we wanted to call you, but we couldn't. But then when you said you'd been through the temple, we just thought,
Ray of sunshine.
so then I was finally worthy to be called to be the Relief Society teacher once a month.
Thank God I
Lucky.
went to the temple.
But I know for a fact too that I was passed over for other callings. Like I was the secretary in the Young Women's Presidency, but I wasn't allowed to be one of the Young Women's counselors because I wasn't sealed in the temple. And that was not the example that they wanted to put forth for their young women.
And
When I was second counselor in Relief Society, that's what happened to me basically. My husband did inappropriate things and then ended up in a brig and in jail and all kinds of bad, being on registries and bad stuff. And I got released from my calling because obviously I did something wrong. And that was hard because I gave my heart and soul to the calling. And then even though my life was kind of falling apart, that's what I was looking forward to, was being able to do my calling. And it was yanked away. It's like I couldn't be around human beings anymore.
Wow.
That's so crazy.
When my mother was primary president, she'd call sisters who weren't active or semi-active, and their job was to come on when we had it on Wednesdays, and they teach primary on Wednesdays, and that sometimes it was the only church they had.
Yeah.
Which was
Lucky
real
them.
interesting. Yeah. But she thought about the inactive and the semi-active, and she'd reach out to them before she reached out to anybody else.
They got it figured out. Leave them alone.
Well, this is back in the 60s.
Back when it was true.
60s.
Yeah, back when it was true.
Well, before we had.
When the church was true.
Yeah.
Back when the church was true, yes.
It was worthwhile.
Yeah.
Good, before the white salamander.
That was before
Pre-internet.
1978. No additional comment. It was before 1978.
All right.
Pre-Hoffman.
So Church of Korihor, what were your callings?
It was pre-salamander.
My last priesthood leadership calling before my mission, I was the teachers quorum president. Now the leader of the entire Church of Korihor. That's how that pathway works.
So when you got home from your mission, they didn't throw you into any kind of callings?
They did. They made me a Sunday school teacher, but when I stopped showing up for Sunday school, I guess that probably fizzled out. I pretty much immediately stopped going to church about 2 or 3 months after I got home from my mission. So, yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
And so, yeah, but I tell you, and when I was a teachers quorum president, my first counselor's covert responsibility, we had an arrangement. I said, all of our advisors are going to find out, are going to make all these stupid suggestions for mutual night about how we should build birdhouses with the Maya maids, and their stupid advisors are going to say so that we need to do some kind of potluck, and all the boys need to cook for all the girls, and then last minute we'll wind up making them Rice Krispie treats or some shit. I'm like, so here's your job, because he was like good looking and really popular with women. with girls, no women, girls. And I said, your job is to be, you are the secret liaison to the Maya maids. And he's like, okay. He said, your job is to find out what they really actually want to do for mutual night. And so that we can just like mutiny against our adult advisors and just watch as they roll their eyes and say, it's always ice blocking. They only want to go ice blocking. So
you're
They
gonna
needed a
build
talents and treasures
birdhouses.
questionnaire.
right.
Where was this? Where was
This was in Mesa, Arizona.
Wow.
ice block? What's ice blocking?
Ice blocking.
Are you kidding me?
Ice block?
You don't know?
You get a big
using ice as a
ass
sled.
block of dry ice and you use it as a sled. That's exactly right. And you could do it all day, man, all day.
I'd like to
I'm
bear my
surprised.
testimony. I'd like to bear my testimony. I know that Joe is true because I was raised in Mesa, Arizona as well.
No,
And
we didn't do that. I never heard of it.
Hey, Randy.
Yes, sir.
Randy, when you, my fellow Phoenician, when you are going, you realize you are going the wrong direction on this street, and you have to advise the people in your car that you are going to abruptly be going the other direction.
Oh, I know what's coming
You
up.
say, I'm gonna
Flip.
a bitch.
I'm
yeah,
gonna
flip a bitch.
flip a
Yeah, I
bitch.
knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
Hold up here. I'm gonna flip a bitch. Oh shit. That is in the Urban Dictionary. I was surprised that's not a saying everywhere in the country. I was like, but like people
It
from
was in
Phoenix
Cali.
all know flip a bitch. You gotta flip a
Yeah,
bitch.
Utah.
We didn't have
No,
the money
I
for
think
dry
it's a
ice. We used a
California
5-pound block and a towel and a pillowcase and a big hill.
Wow.
Oh,
What?
without dry ice?
What was that?
Nope, we
Just
used
Are you talking about?
5-pound block of ice, a towel
should go
down
back to
Centennial
that.
Hill in Sheridan,
Oh,
Colorado. Use a
I thought she was
pillowcase to
talking-
drag it back up the top.
Okay. That's something else. I
Wow.
was talking about flipping a
That-
bitch with a pillowcase.
Yeah.
That would not have lasted long
completely
in Mesa. I'll tell you that right now.
No, not at all.
No, dry ice lasts that much longer.
Yeah.
Brittany the apostate and I always said flip a female dog. We never
Yeah.
used the B word.
Oh, yeah.
The B word. Flip a B word.
And
Every
helicopters were
Every
hectocopters,
Mormon
right?
okay, there's swearing, and then there is directions for driving. And nary the twain shall meet. I knew not one Mormon who did not say flip a bitch. Every Mormon in Mesa, Arizona knows flip a bitch.
A
We
lot
would
of
always
times,
say to go forward, never straight when we'd give directions. You're going forward, never straight.
Oh, always straight. You gotta keep it straight. Mormon.
No, in
No,
Mesa,
that's
we were
so-
always going straight.
Can't say
How
that.
do you turn a block of ice? That's what I want to know.
How do you what?
Turn a block of
How do
ice.
you
Turn
steer
it?
the block of ice?
You've got a
Yeah.
towel, and
Uh,
it's
Use-
kind of like
You
I don't know,
don't.
it's
Is
tobogganing
it like that
or
Olympic
something.
sport where somebody
Yeah.
with
You
a
just
Like
go
Is
Cool
the-
Runner.
Wait,
you know?
wait, wait.
in front of you?
Just
Is is the pillowcase
This
under
wasn't
the
a course,
block
it
of
was a
ice?
hill.
Wait,
No, the
hang on,
pillowcase you just hold. You got the towel and the block of ice, and that's what you're riding on.
In
You
the
just
You
go
know
down
what
the
I-
hill.
Just
wanted
going
to
down a
say-
hill.
in the Bay Area, we had hills and trees, eucalyptus trees, and the leaves were oily and slippery, and so we would use cardboard and slide on cardboard on that. We-
Fun.
In the Bay Area, we preserve our
Cool,
ice,
so-
for drinks, and such.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
I wanted to start a business in Mesa, Arizona, where I'd have one of those big gravel trucks, but I'd fill it with ice, and then I'd go from house to house that had prescribed by services, and I would put a huge, like 6 or 8 wheelbarrows of ice in their swimming pools, because the water
Nice.
would get so damn hot in the swimming pools in Mesa.
And
And I thought
that's
that
a good
would be a
idea.
good business. Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
good
that's pretty
freaking
cool.
idea.
cool the pools down before a pool party,
Yeah, the Cool Pool Company. Cool Pool Co.
right?
Yeah, flip Kiki over there. Flip Kiki. Somebody flip Kiki up here.
Flip Kiki?
Yeah, flip Kiki. No, Timothy. No, not like that.
Don't flip the Kiki, Tim.
Not what we meant.
Contain yourself. I'm talking about a
Dear
bitch, and you're
God.
making it all dirty. You're making it all sexual. Good Lord.
That was sexual.
Oh, do you like this, or this?
What the-
That's sexual.
Timothy!
Blur that, Gene. Blur that and post. Blur that out.
Tim, I don't know how things worked back on the Ark, but here in this modern age, you have to be careful with your hand gestures.
You could be arrested, Tim.
Oh boy. Okay. Sorry.
I did want to mention when I was on my mission, however, there was a calling. I didn't know that ward mission leaders were a thing growing up in Mesa, which shocked the president of my mission training center. He's like Elder Rollins, where are you from? I said, I'm from Mesa, Arizona. And he's like, excellent. He says, tell me embarrass your testimony about a time when you were called by the missionaries and the board mission leader to give a referral. And I was like, a what? And he's like, a referral. And I'm like, a referral for what? And he's like
a little skirt?
that. And he said, in my MTC, this is our MTC president in Lima, and he said, that makes me want to say a bad word, Elder Rollins. Like, what the hell? He's like, what the hell? Are you serious? He's like, you were never asked to give a referral to the missionaries. I said, I'm just now being made aware that was even a thing. I'm like, I thought ward mission leaders were like, they held dances or something that you could invite friends to if they have time or something like that. That's what I thought ward mission leaders were.
That's probably what they really do.
Titties.
So yes,
Titties.
everybody, I want to draw everybody's attention to the bottom of the screen. Kiki is saying at least he didn't say titties as soon as they went live. And that's in honor of a relatively new program that's on Monday nights. And Megan, tell us a little bit about that program where it starts off with titties sometimes.
Ooh.
Well, just the one time so far, but you never know what's going to happen when Kiki and I get together. Kirsten and I have decided to do family night that's actually fun. And we, the two of us together, have decided that we're going to teach Mormonism 101 out of the classic Book of Mormon reader.
Oh,
Which, for
God.
those who don't know,
It's false
it's a
advertising.
graphic novel that includes the severing of arms.
Oh.
Oh,
You gotta
make her big. Make her big.
There, I'm making you big, Megan.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Flip that ship
to. I have to
flip.
Hang on. I've got to find the best. I have to find the
Flip
best
that
one.
shit to Alma 30. You gotta show us some Cora Horde in that.
I'm waiting for the titties to come in here.
Yeah.
Alma
The
30.
news.
I'm trying to drive traffic to their show. It's posted on Megan's channel. You just go
on Monday nights, we're definitely going to be going through this graphic novel, and unfortunately, I cannot find the Ammon story right now. It's my favorite one, but at least we have an honorable mention here of the wicked Lamanites killed lots of people. There's lots of violence in this graphic novel. But
nice.
so Kiki and I get together. We take turns giving the lesson. There's always a family home evening treat, which may or may not involve spirits of some kind. And we actually have a good time unpacking our Mormon trauma on Monday nights, where we go through family night like it used to be in the olden days, except for also there might be alcohol involved.
Okay. Burying the lead.
And by accident the other night when I went live, we're used to recording it on Sunday mornings and then posting it on Monday nights, and we did it live on Monday night, and Kirsten didn't realize that I had gone live, and the first thing that she said was about titties. So there we go. It happens. It happens sometimes. It's okay.
Can we still see it, or did you edit it out?
I didn't edit it out. I never edit anything.
Well, okay.
No, it's still available.
I think
They're
we
just
need to go on
talking.
and
They were
see
just
that
talking
out.
about titties, Randy. Don't get excited. They're just
No, her
talking about titties.
titties were showing.
I read somewhere that if a man touches a breast every day, his life will be better.
Talking is
Amen.
titillating.
Tim, why you guys share this shit that I share with you in confidence, man? What the hell?
That's private. You got to pay for that.
Those are
Private.
secret.
So for everybody that
I
wants, I'm posting a link to the show, and you could, if you don't get to hear the word titties on YouTube often enough, you just click over to that show, and it'll.
And I will
satisfy.
mention, and you obviously are not attending godless sermons on Sundays if you're not hearing titties enough on YouTube.
There you go.
That's a regular. Jules will attest. Jules will attest. Kim will attest.
Yeah.
Seeing is
Legan
believing.
will attest.
Seeing,
We talk
seeing is
tits all the
believing,
time.
Joe.
You
Seeing
can't
is
have too many
believing.
titties.
I mean, we might have to start a Cora Horror OnlyFans. I'm not above it. I mean, if we're gonna do that,
And in case,
we gotta get
in case
this
anybody
tithing
wants to
money.
know, in case anybody wants to know at YouTube,
Maybe the first OnlyFans church.
tits
Is there an
are
OnlyFans church?
birds, and bird
There's
watchers know
gonna be
that.
now.
What was that, Gene?
Sorry, Gene.
Tits are birds, and bird watchers know that, and so we're not
Oh yeah.
Oh,
just
yeah.
saying we're just
being cool.
nature lovers.
This
Do we
has been
have
the
a clip?
funniest series of unfortunate events.
I'm just turning it,
Technical
man. I can't do
difficulties.
this
Yeah,
anymore.
just do it. Fine. Just go
There
with
we
it.
go.
We're fine.
There, we got titties.
There she
You
goes.
know, we are live
For the hell
within the
evening.
first 20 seconds of the YouTube video.
You got double check.
Saying the T word. It's okay.
I
Face.
mean,
You just,
you know you left.
You just
You know you
doubled
left
your
the
audience.
church for a reason.
Man.
that should be a short.
You know, how do you
You're killing
think
me,
that
Smalls. You're killing me.
people who think that that titties should have nothing to do with church, how the hell do you think Brigham Young got all those people to follow him all the way across those freaking plains to get to this dry ass place? Come on. Like, why would we
Well,
follow
wait
you?
a
It's
minute.
like once you get out
He-
there, we'll give you all the titties you want.
Brigham
The
Young.
Holy
is
Spirit,
the,
let's go.
Brigham Young is the only one that had a wife. Everybody else, nobody else had any women.
Wasn't it?
I think he and Heber
What?
lived too.
There's
Yes.
some of the ladies.
It's
How'd I
true.
get here then?
No, when they first came to Utah,
Oh.
there were no women with the men. There was, I think, Brigham and Heber were the only two that had wives.
Oh,
Like
that
the
had
party.
them with them.
Them.
I thought you
For the
were
first 10
saying that
minutes.
they were the only polygamists. I'm like,
No. They
No,
were the
no.
only two that had, if I remember right. Oh, what
Oh,
do we got
boy.
here?
Once you go up to the
Okay.
cabin in the woods.
I thought you said we sold it.
We sold the property. I worked it out so that we could relocate the cabin, but it is going to be up in Tahoe for another couple of days. Maybe you can take a date up there.
How am I supposed to find someone willing to go into that musty old claptrap?
The cabin, yes. And that would be difficult too.
Good, Joe. Arrested Development.
What is that from?
Crap.
What is that?
Arrested Development.
Okay.
Yeah.
Big in the early
I
2000s.
went to go see Weapons today. I highly recommend it.
As a gun store? Gun
It's
store?
really good. RFN said last night on the newscast he liked it, and I thought about
What
it.
is this?
It's called Weapons.
As a gun
is-
store?
No.
No. I guess the
Have you seen
movie.
it, Jules? Have you seen
No,
it?
I've heard RFM's
Yeah,
Yes.
it's really,
Today.
really good. It's really good.
Ugh, I heard him talk. I didn't listen, I guess.
So just to bring back to the topic again,
Anyway,
there's other local leaders that we haven't talked about, and
okay.
that is the stake president. And Tim, tell everyone how stake presidents are chosen.
By the amount of money they donate to the church.
So when a
Or
traveling elder
or-
comes into town, they need to pick a new stake president. What do they ask for? They ask for a list.
of how much
Money.
the highest tithe payers.
The top 15
Or-
tithe payers.
Or or the lawyer that protects the GA's kids when they're in California, which was my stake president, who later became a 70. I didn't know this at the time, but he was the one the church went to whenever a GA's kid got in trouble down in LA. They'd call him and say, "Hey, go defend this kid," or somebody from your firm, go defend him. Yeah. So yeah. So do favors for the GAs, or you're the highest tithe payer in the state.
Yeah, highest tithe payer, or saving the most church money from keeping the news out of the news
Kids out of the news.
out of the newspapers.
When you say highest tithe payer, you're talking about like money, right? You're not talking about like really high
money.
Now it makes sense about my ward.
6 foot 8.
It would have been cool if it was the highest member. That'd be cool.
Yeah, how do you know who's highest?
Yeah.
How would you even know?
Lots of
Maybe some people are just quiet.
The people that are hungry, right? They're munching. The munching.
Yeah.
And the high counselors.
Like that one with the talkies, he's definitely the highest.
If you're not in the state presidency, then it's one of his counselors or it's somebody on the high council. That whole group of men are the highest tithe payers in the state.
And here's what I also heard, I was like 58 or something when I heard it, is that when bishops are released and a new person becomes a bishop, the released bishop usually gets called into the high council so that the new bishop can do his own bishoping and not have to be in the shadows of the other bishop.
Or they take a high counselor and make him a bishop, which I saw.
Or the other way around, right?
Yeah.
Or back and forth. I've seen that happen.
Because I have
those are dead though, right?
I have an uncle that was a bishop for a long time, and then they released him and put him in the high council.
And the Relief Society, the Stake Relief Society president is released, they make her nursery leader.
I thought it was janitor.
They treat them a little differently. Or chorister in the primary. Right, Megan?
Head janitor.
Primary is the top job.
Exactly. No, my favorite job was playing the piano in the primary because you just show up, you sit there, you play a few songs, you go home, you don't have to talk to anybody. It's great.
Jam out.
Yeah, my favorite job was working with the kids too. I liked my calling, teaching the Blazers, and I liked my Webelos calling. That was better than anything else. You know, I didn't have to deal with people's crap.
Blazers got it figured out.
Yeah.
They're real chill.
Kiki says that
I used to
she did that as
feed
well,
them
so her
things.
dad would be able to predict who the next stake president was because he probably could tell who was making the most money and paying the most tithe.
Oh, I was sitting in state conference, listening to these guys talk. Who was stake president going to be? And they said it's going to be so and so, and they were right. And I turned around and said, "How do you know?
Prophecy.
How do you know?" He says, "It's all about money, kid." I said, "Yeah." Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Well, if he's a counselor, he's usually called the stake president. Either he comes from the high council or he comes from the stake presidency, or sometimes even a bishop.
But to be fair, if God didn't like him, how'd they get all that money? If God likes you, you got money, right?
That's how that works.
Prosperity gospel.
Unless there are non-members present, in which case, you know,
that's black magic. Black magic.
Yeah. Right. I was on TikTok. Heaven help me, but I've been back on TikTok. I don't really mean that, heaven help me, but I got back on TikTok and I started going through. Apparently, I had subscribed to like every Mormon that goes live on TikTok, and they were having this conversation. This group, like interfaith group defending Mormonism, and someone mentions, you know, I have noticed this about Mormons. They must be doing something right because they're all rich. Like all Mormons are rich. And I said, A, that's a very mammon-based ideology about what makes you a good person. But okay. And B, that's not true of all Mormons. It's true certainly out here in Utah, generally speaking. But I said, what never gets mentioned is the nepotism and how nepotism made that whole thing, right? Of course, I got a whole bunch of people jumping down my throat. So, okay, look, here's what I'm saying. any community, you're going to have nepotism. Parents look out for their kids. It makes sense. You look out, uncles and aunts look out for their nieces and nephews. Makes sense. That all makes sense. But if you don't understand this piece of history, there was a time when Howard Hughes came out to Las Vegas and started up the defense industry with mainly Mormons. He didn't trust people who weren't Mormons. And they called it the Mormon Mafia. If you don't believe me, look that shit up. Of a sudden,
the actor Wilford Brimley was one of his bodyguards.
Wilford Brimley.
Yeah.
He eats apple pie and ice cream and people
Oatmeal.
with adult onset diabetes.
Sugar diabetes. Sugar diabetes.
When I first heard the word nepotism, I thought it was a worse word than titty because I didn't know what it meant and it sounded bad. And now I know it is worse. It is worse than titties as far as the church.
Don't ever touch anybody else's nepotism.
No, stay away.
I was in college when I first heard the term mutual masturbation, and my Mormon brain went, "What mutual are you guys going?"
Yeah, activity time.
I saw.
Hi, Mom. I'm going to Mutual. See you later.
Yeah, I'm going to Mutual. I'll be back in 2 hours or 5 minutes, maybe 4 minutes.
You never heard of a circle jerk? Prior to that,
Isn't
I
there
had
a
not
hymn
at that
that
point.
talks about mutual masturbation? Maybe that's some other.
I think that is my cue to say goodnight because I'm battling sinus infection
And
garbage.
we're just about done anyway. Thanks, Megan, for all your stories.
Everybody send good thoughts to Megan's sinuses so they'll clear up.
Yeah, thank you. Either that or I'm just going to go record a bunch of Stevie Nicks songs while I've got these low notes still out here.
Oh, boy. All right. Take care, honey.
I'll see you later.
Feel better.
Bye. Oh, that was great.
Well, I saw titties in church one time.
You told us that story, your mission.
Oh, yeah. Did I tell that already? Where I was speaking as a missionary? And
Yeah,
there they
the
don't
breastfeeding
care
ladies.
when they breastfeed babies. Man,
Oh, yeah.
she didn't just breastfeed. She just pulled everything down, just everything, where she's all hanging out on the front row.
That's
And
Europe.
she was, yeah.
That's
It was
Europe.
Europe. European titties are just as amazing.
You should have brought slides.
Were your newsstands nothing but porn magazines? I mean, we walk up to buy candy or something in the newsstand, and all the magazines were porn.
Well, Europeans think that Mormons' pamphlets are porn.
I agree with them.
Oh boy.
I mean, they only had tabloids in Peru, that's for sure. But no, and tabloids were in Peru. In all Latin America, tabloids means ass on the cover. It's like ass and World Report. And so, but the
same with the weather report.
Yeah. Oh, the weather report's much more vulgar. Damn it. Oh yeah, I did an episode with an OnlyFans, a friend of mine who does OnlyFans, and she was
What's his name?
Her name is AJ. You can go and watch the episode. We talk about how to find her, how to find her OnlyFans.
I thought it was a guy. I was going to be interested.
She's making a lot of money, I hope, doing it.
She makes pretty good money.
Good.
Yeah.
Good for her.
But but when she was living out here in Lehigh, she talks about it on the episode. And she said one day, she's like, "Do you remember I got called out by the bishopric because I pulled out my boob and started breastfeeding one of my babies in sacrament meeting?" She's like, "I got punished for that. I got called on the carpet for it." I'm like, that's pretty fucked up. But there's something to say for that. It is different here in America than it is in other places. Because definitely in Peru, if you got kids, in Peru they breastfeed. It's not common for mothers to breastfeed their kids till they're like 5 or 6 years old. So you'd have little kids run up to mom and plop, out it goes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's one thing to breastfeed in church. That's fine. But in some of these foreign countries, it's like they wear a tube top so they can just pull it down to their stomach and sit there topless in church, which I think should be a rule that they do that.
Hell yeah. Sexist church, I'm down.
And I know that people are thinking, oh, how sexist. Breastfeeding is nothing sexual. But let me tell you, when you're a 19-year-old missionary,
it's the greatest thing ever.
A boob. Yeah.
That's right. A boob is a boob.
When you had a working mom as a kid, even more enticing.
Wait. Well,
I'm saying, we
what?
neglected from that thing. You know what I'm saying?
You're working. Wait a minute. Okay. I don't mean to be insensitive.
When you're
working in.
Yeah, your mom was gone when you were a kid. That's getting enforced that growing up. You didn't have as much as you wanted.
Jesus,
You know what I'm saying?
I totally got the wrong idea.
Wait,
What
very,
you're
very
saying.
deep.
Yeah,
No,
I
I'm
was
saying
thinking working mom.
it's like a psychological thing. If like
Be
you
very
were
sensitive here because he just said
when
that
you
his
were
mom was
neglected as a
working
kid.
woman.
When your
Wait,
mom's a
wait.
working girl.
Let him
If
speak.
you're neglected as a kid and you don't get as much breastfeeding as you need, then that kind of builds that fetish in your mind. So psychologists think.
Oh.
I
Yeah.
was never breastfed as a kid because I was adopted away at birth. So
That's
no
I've
wonder.
heard that from psychologists. Yeah.
I
Wow.
Well, there you go.
concur.
Randy bears testimony.
Randy has proof.
So that's what happened, Randy. That's your excuse?
Hey, I got turned on when I was in
Some
Chicago.
disability now.
I got turned on
Go
when I
ahead.
was in Chicago and saw two sailors walking abreast.
Ooh.
Like that.
Ooh.
Was it at least on a leash?
Did it have a name?
My mom had struggles nursing me, and the doctors, because I would cry a lot, and she would wonder what's going on, and the doctor got some formula and fed me, and the crying went away. And he says, "You're not producing enough," and so I was supplemented with almond milk. So to me, I go nuts over titties. So that's tied both of them together.
Boo.
I was
Not
born
even-
premature. I was born premature, so I didn't breastfeed at all when
I'm
I was
still
a baby.
premature.
Yeah, it's always
I am.
premature for now on.
But now,
Yeah,
but I was fed for the first few months of my life. I was fed the cream that formed on top of goat's milk, and then I get goat's milk, and I still can't pass by a goat field without
grabbing one, wrestling that goat down.
They say, "Do you like goats?" And you say, "Nah."
Says, yeah.
We're losing our audience. All this titty talk.
We have an audience?
How
People
are,
watch this?
are you people still here?
Do you
We
think,
got,
Randy, we would get more views if we called this Tuesdays with Titties instead of Tuesdays with Tim?
Yeah,
Titty
probably.
cast.
Or
Probably.
Titty Tuesdays with Tim.
Titty
Taco
cast.
Tuesdays.
Well,
Taco
people
Tim,
sometimes
titties.
think,
No,
people sometimes
Tim,
think that
titties
Tim is a
Tuesdays.
boob.
Put that up.
Tim's Titties Tim's Titties Tuesdays. Or Titties
Tuesdays with Titty Tim.
Yeah, Tuesdays with Titties.
Tuesdays
I
with
mean,
Titty Tim.
If it was working with for Cardinellis to have a show called Tits before, wasn't that more fair found out about
Can
it?
we call this tits? Tits too?
Check out
It's just tits
Woody's
too.
comment here. Next one
Yeah,
down.
screw Taco Tuesday. Or Taco Titty Tuesdays with Tim.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Well, you throw tacos in there, and now you're talking.
Well, I wasn't going
Right.
to mention anything, but now that
Titty
that
tacos
comment
and
came
Tim?
up, I will say I am still a little bit resentful with all of the little factory, workers from the
Guilt.
mission era in here. I'm not once good missionary boy. I'm still sore about that. Very
Yeah.
sore.
Randy and
Very
Tim.
You're
Fire
very,
up the
very
factory.
That's why
disciplined.
you were sore about it.
Dirty snippets. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I didn't go. It's like I can't turn that factory off in the things.
Well, I turned it off for about
10 minutes.
about 6-8 months before I was taking a shower in it, and anyway, it just happened. And
The
that
night shift
was-
foreman turned it on.
That was it.
I was informed by Boyd K. Packer that you couldn't go on a mission if you did that. You were dirty boy. You couldn't go on a mission.
Wow. I was in the same boat.
I had a friend who had a child, and she went.
Whoa, that can happen. The factory can auto-generate children.
Yes.
First of all, no one would be on a mission.
Well, now they're letting those 40-year-olds go. So
I thought women had to be involved.
Yeah, somehow. Yes.
Sickos, how dare you, MB? We're good guys.
No, we're sickos.
We're sickos.
Yeah, speak
Come
for
on,
yourself.
let's admit it. We're all deviants. We're very
That's true.
deviated.
Look at us. Come on.
Well, I did ask Nathan Hinckley if I could see his titties yesterday.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Was he modest, dishonest?
He, I can't remember what the Facebook post was. Oh, crap, I can't remember. Something about, I wanted him to show his titties because he brought it up first, but now I can't even remember what it is. Whatever his Facebook post was yesterday. Now, obviously, we've been talking titties too much.
It blew Randy's mind.
Because I've lost my control of titty thought.
Titty overload.
It's time for commercials. Jules, do you have any shows coming up on your channel?
Well, I have do a Thursday night live stream. I do a Friday night. And then Saturdays, I started another channel with a friend. And we've been trying to do, like last time we did do something on the West Bank bone collector, West Mesa bone collector murders here in Albuquerque.
Oh.
So we're trying to do something along those routes.
That's cool.
Very apropos for a nurse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
True crime.
Yeah, that was actually, when she looked it up, it was, and she told me about it. We actually went up to the West Mesa, went to the monument, and
oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So, and then they have like the monument where the girls were found, and then then they have like they actually have a monument for the dog that found the first femur.
Wow,
that's cool.
That's how they that's how I discovered it. The lady walking her dog, picks up a bone.
They killed the dog?
No, some lady was just walking the dog. Dog picks up a bone, and she's all, this guy looks different.
Wow.
Mailed it to her sister, and that was a nurse.
Wow.
And it turned out to be a human femur.
Was this pre-camera phone?
Yeah.
Okay,
This
that makes
happened
sense.
I think this was like in the 2000.
Okay.
In the mid 2000s. Yeah.
You used to have mail bones back then.
Mm-hmm. And so it was like back then it was like a construction site in that area. So there's satellite images.
I think I've heard that.
Yeah, there's satellite images now that they find where cars were coming in and out of that area.
Wow.
That's right.
Yeah. That's
Joe
right.
is making a bold move tomorrow in order to boost ratings. He has a special guest.
It's reached desperation. As you guys know, on Wednesdays I do Charlatans Never Change, where I call out the swindlers of religion. Tomorrow we're doing a man you may have heard of. It's called The Book of Mammon, and it's the story of Russell M. Nelson, with special guest Randy C. Watts. Booyah!
I love him. I love him.
Randy's going to be on.
I'll be watching.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I'll be on this end.
I think Randy was projecting his voice. I couldn't tell who was talking for a little while.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was Kim. It's very good, the ventriloquism.
I'm going to have this lagging issue fixed by tomorrow. Because whatever's doing it is driving me crazy.
But it's great for ventriloquist act.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Where's Jeff Dunham there?
And
Where
Randy,
is Jeff Dunham? He's homeless by now?
Randy
We
and
will
I
be-
interviewed Robert Tobler. Well, Randy interviewed
Tobler's
Robert
own?
Tobler and I, and we're going to put that show out tomorrow morning.
Cool.
He a
I'm
chocolate
releasing
guy?
it at 9 or 10 a.m. Pacific time.
Rob Tobler is a really cool guy who lives in Hawaii, whose claim to fame is, anybody know?
The chocolate.
He is
TikTok.
my third cousin.
Oh,
Hey,
Really?
What?
Made my ass.
he is.
What?
Do you get
Yeah.
third cousin benefits?
We don't talk about it. The Toblers, and Rollins.
Is that a
don't talk
Mormon
about it.
movie? Cousins with benefits? Is that
Keep it in the
different from
family.
friends with benefits?
Keep it in the
Not-
family.
Not one you can see, my friend. Not one you can see. It's one that
you're
comes
gonna-
with protection.
You're going to open up Russell Nelson to the world. You're going to
I am.
expose him.
Splay him up.
I mean, a lot of it's going to be stuff you guys already know.
I suppose
But
if
it's not.
if you
it's
were going to
not
have
what-
a wrestling match with him, you probably had a good chance because he's like 100.
Crusty
It's like
Rusty.
100. He's going on 101.
Ooh,
I know I
he'll
could
live
beat him
forever.
in racquetball.
Frankly, I think you could kill him in a blinking contest.
I doubt that. He's going to blink one time. Real soon.
Yeah.
One
You know,
final blink.
cardiovascular surgeons, they don't live forever. I mean, not that you can tell by present example, but you'll find out.
Wonder if
Hey,
he's
Joe,
using-
I saw you on an Exmo and a Nomo walk into a bar, and
Yeah.
we interviewed them just a few days ago, and that
I
was
saw.
one of the funnest shows we ever did. That was hilarious.
I've
But
had
I,
them on Korahor, on Hellfire
Randy and I
Agency,
didn't
too.
know we can have so much
Oh,
fun
cool.
without Tim.
I know,
It's
right?
hard to imagine. It is hard to imagine.
Can you imagine how much fun it would have been with Tim?
Titty Tim. Titty Tim.
Especially on a Titty Tuesday.
No, but they're great. Kate and Erica are great, though. I've had after I had them on my program, I invited Kate back on to talk about divorce. You know, this is the second conversation we've had about how the Church of Korahor is innovating a special sacrament for divorce, and she was a
Need some
great
love.
guest. You need but you need to call on people who are experienced, man. That's the key.
Just
They're
think, Joe,
awesome.
From experience.
you're going to inspire kids to, you know how girls will plan their weddings?
Part of
Yeah,
divorce.
They'll also be planning their divorce
Perfect.
at 12 at the
Perfect.
same time.
What they're gonna wear, what music
You
we're
joke.
playing.
you joke, but how great would that be? How great would that be? Yeah, whether or not how the prenup is going to go.
Yeah.
How do you get
Queen's
They
another
say
one
that-
bites the dust.
they
That'd
say
be
that
the divorce song.
the only ethical way to become a billionaire is to divorce one.
Oh, God.
Well, not to be too PC incorrect, but it's the best way for a woman to be a billionaire is to divorce a billionaire. You look like the richest
You're
women.
going to stand alone on that one, buddy. I'm going to let you
I-
stand
Yeah.
there by
Yeah,
yourself.
I'm saying, go
I'm
look
for
it up.
equal rights.
I'm the
I'm for equal
richest.
rights,
I'm
and
not
I
saying
can't
it's right.
I
I'm not
can't
saying
wait
it's
for my
right.
wife to get up to $1 billion so that I can divorce her. And
But I'm saying, you look at the richest women, like the
Balance.
10 richest women, they're all divorced rich dudes. I'm not
Well,
saying it's
look
right.
That is okay.
That's
That
just
is
Look
where
at
we're That's just where we're at.
look at oh crud, I can't remember her name. She had a talk. Winfrey.
Oprah Winfrey.
Oprah?
Oprah Winfrey.
Oprah.
She is one of the richest women in
That's
the
true.
nation.
That's true.
And,
She's an exception.
And the Olsen
And-
twins.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of women who are self-made. But like,
Do you ever watch,
Bezos' ex-wife is one of them. She's
Yeah,
super rich.
Bezos' ex-wife is like one of the richest people in the world right now.
Yeah.
But have you ever seen? You ever watch Game Changer? It's on the Dropout Network. The same people who started College Humor.
Was it Dropout
No,
Network?
yeah. It's really funny. It's really good. But Brendan Lee Mulligan is a comedian who's always ragging on billionaires. You know, the host of that show is Bob Reich's son. If you know who Bob Reich is, he's labor secretary under Clinton. Anyways, but they're always ragging on Elon Musk. They're always ragging on Jeff Bezos. They're always taking billionaires to task. So one day he gives them, it's an improv show. He gives them a prompt. And he says, this is your prompt. And he says, since you love to rag on billionaires, Brennan, take down billionaires Rihanna, Oprah, and Beyonce. And it's the color just like drains out of this white boy's face.
Danger, Will Robinson.
So I actually have a comeback for Trevor. Trevor said that the fastest way for a woman to become a billionaire is divorce one. I'm going to say that before they were divorced, those women were billionaires.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
If you think about it.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. They helped them out.
They, community property, they help their husband as partners in order
That's
to.
true. At least theoretically.
Man or woman, I'll marry a billionaire.
Hell yeah, I've been a billionaire anytime.
The only thing I have a problem with some things is like I found it really hard to sleep my way to the top. That's the only.
It's real hard.
It
gotta have some nice titties.
I think it's because you thought, Gene, that actually involves sleeping.
Yeah.
That's a euphemism. You didn't realize that was a euphemism for sex.
I slept so much. I was sleeping all the time.
You're like, what are you guys doing? I'm going to sleep. Get off. I'm trying to catch some Z's. Let me alone.
Like movie Big. I get on top.
It's bedtime. Get away.
I can spin this in a whole new direction too. Okay, and this is gonna get bad. But I used to work at SeaWorld. I worked there 9 years.
Oh
wow!
Which one? Which one?
San Diego.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So this is about working my way up to the top. So
I don't like this.
I started dating girls in the entertainment department there at SeaWorld. Well, the first girl I dated, the character she dressed up as was Penny Penguin. That's what her character was. Then I broke up with her. A couple of years later, I started dating another girl. So I worked my way up because she was Baby Shamu. I was moving up the ladder.
Tough roll. Tough roll.
Oh man.
Moving
on, right on up that
hierarchy. Work your way up the fish ladder. I'm surprised that you broke up with the penguin because I heard they're monogamous penguins.
Marine mammal.
One till death.
Marine mammal. Oh, cool.
That's tomorrow's show. I'll post a link to it.
Very cool.
Can you see how many minutes it is from now? 13 hours from now, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Joseph Smith's Magic Worldview. We take Ganesh Cherian's book and take the chapter on what's it called, Randy? Folk magic.
The folk magic,
Folk
and it's
you.
really interesting. Folk you. Yeah, it's very interesting.
And it's a great show. And Rob comes up with a comparison. What's it called? An object lesson.
An object lesson.
An allegory, whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Anachronism.
Analogy.
Comes up with an analogy. How a banyan tree is like Mormonism. So that's the teaser. Go watch it now and find out.
Cool.
And Rio,
There you go.
for life, Kim D, do you have anything coming up on your channel?
I got 3 things in the works. I'm continuing on with a series that's been me telling my life from birth on, and we've got up to birth to age 14. So now we're moving on to age 14 in high school.
So you don't have an episode on the pre-existence?
That'll be, along
The end?
coming along. Yeah.
Bonus episode.
Yeah, bonus. There you go.
She forgot that part.
I'll come at the end.
I didn't remember
I can't
it.
remember it.
So you're
The veil.
moving
That damn
into
veil.
puberty.
Yep, and this was when I had left my Mormon family, my dad and my stepmom, and I'm now living with my mom and stepdad. And 6 months into it, my mom has an aneurysm, no memory
Ooh.
of her personal life before that day. So I
Holy
am
cow.
literally on my own, where I'm the only Mormon in my entire town. I am 14 years old and I don't know
Wow.
anyone, anything, and have no one to really guide or direct me. So it's going to start getting a little more worldly and interesting in the next 5 years
Wow.
of my life, but also filled with
Wow.
guilt and shame and all kinds of stuff.
Crazy.
The second one I'm doing is an update of a true crime. The next court hearing is the 15th of September. It's a person who showed pornography to a minor, very minor, to teach them about sex.
Wow.
And then this is his, not even at the arraignment stage yet. There's delays that happen. This stuff takes forever. And eventually, along with it, two other, all connected in, I call it, instead of murdering Daybells, it's S.A. Creepville. And then I did go to the Scientology org in Salt Lake City because I had some questions about some things. And along with it, I got a copy of the Purification Rundown, which is also kind of interesting, how it all, And so there will be an episode I'll be doing with my friend Cricket and some other former Scientologists about my 22-minute audio recording of my experience there. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Be sure and tell your friend to stay away from the seagulls.
Oh, yes. And I didn't go in, but I took a picture of my very first swig when I was in Utah this past week. And so, and my best advice to anybody who goes to a heavy metal concert, I went to Pantera and
Don't sway.
earplugs, and pop rocks. I kept putting pop rocks in my mouth to complete this sensation of all of the music and vibration. So that's my new tip is pop
You went
rocks.
to a heavy metal concert?
Is that new kind of drug?
Yeah, at the Utah First Amphitheater, I went to Pantera, and the next night I went to Counting Crows. I've got some video on that on my channel too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had
How
a
did I
fun
not know
weekend.
that Pantera was in town? That's just wrong, man.
We're
I
kind
love
of hooked up
Pantera.
with some people that do seat fillers. So concerts, especially in the front, the band needs to see it full. So there's ways to get free tickets so
Oh, that's
that
cool.
you're
Nice.
it's kind of cool. So
I'm
that is what
holding
I'm
off
doing.
I'm waiting for 9 Inch Nails, and then I'll be there.
Oh, fun.
Good.
I've been
Think
to an
I'm out.
ICP concert in Denver. I've done lots
I'm
of
only
interesting
kidding.
things.
Nine Inch Nails is doing the soundtrack for the new
Jesus the Christ.
Tron movie.
Oh really?
Right.
Yeah,
Really? Jesus.
Saw the new trailer
do
today.
Jesus.
Pretty cool looking. Pretty cool.
All right. Well,
Didn't
thanks
you
everybody for
try?
watching. We're going to head off into the after show and have a great rest of 2025. We'll share, like, and subscribe. Do all the things, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
guys,
Good
for coming.
night. Take care. Touch a tit.
Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.